As Ren and Stimpy, they were on this planet somewhere. They were spacing around, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bunch of these weird little creatures started descending on them, and they had this book that Ren was reading in that was going to explain them how about their survival guide and how to survive wherever they were at. And Ren, the little dog, in his cute little accent, goes, Stimpy, what's the book say? And Ren goes, he looks at him and he goes, we're doomed. So all of a sudden, then they go on this goofy laughter, and all of a sudden these creatures start going. It's obvious they just got eaten. They were just somebody's meal. So that's what we are. We're doomed. Now, maybe not the human race isn't doomed, but our civilization is. And I will say why. Because you have about 10% of the population that actually sits down and thinks things through and does that before they act. Most of us are behaving it's like you're driving somewhere and you look up and you think after like 15 minutes, where did I go? Where was I at? So some part of your brain took over and drove the car for you, and you weren't conscious of it. And you made all kinds of decisions. It's like when I first got married to my first wife. I mean, pretty much through the whole marriage. When we would go on a trip, I would start driving to work. And she'd say, what are you doing that for? Because I was driving to work. Because that was my subconscious doing something. And that's how most of us function. Our subconscious mind functions. And the people who make the major decisions, they understand that about us. And they know how to get us to do what they want us to do. So if you question it, so we're in an age now, if you question whatever's going on, then people say things like, you're just a news junkie. You need to get a life. Or you're not being patriotic. Don't you love America? Everybody's in their own little clique and their own little group. And so a herd runs off a cliff together. A herd may walk towards one herd that's how you got such a big herd. If you think about 60 million buffaloes that were here on this continent, and now there's like 1 million, those herds of buffaloes, they walked out and there was grassland. Just if you drove across the Midwest, there is just acres and acres and hectares and miles and miles and miles and miles of empty land, which a buffalo would find just like we would a steak, tasty. So that's why there were so many of them. And so when we showed up, they were just there. So we could just shoot them. They didn't know what was going on, and they never did figure it out. And now there's no more. That's how they killed off the indigenous people on this continent. They just killed all their buffalo, so they didn't have anywhere to. They didn't have to fight them. The people, the Sioux, beat us. They beat the United States in a war. They beat us. They slaughtered Custer. They won. And so we just said, well, we'll just kill all their food. And people have the audacity and the temerity to talk about Hitler. When we did that to a people, they're completely gone. And the people that supposedly Hitler killed, they own all our banks, they own Hollywood, they run everything. So, because people don't think these things through. People are stupid. They're stupid. You don't use your head. You just go, well, my friend feels that way. Their friend, everybody, they're little friends. They're like herd animals walking off. So, or you can wind up like me, 60 years old, alone, don't like anybody, can't stand people. So I'm not telling you to do what I've done. I'm just saying that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a serious problem because you cannot have 7 billion people being told to do. That's 7,000 million people being told what to do by 300 million. That's not right. So here's 7,000 million people would be up here and 300 million are here, the United States. You can't go over. And some of these countries like Russia, China, they have nuclear weapons. They have armies. They have vast financial interest. The Russians can build sophisticated weapons. They were trying to sell these sophisticated anti-ballistic missiles to the Turks, and the Turks bought theirs at the expense of getting their financial system wrecked. That's how good they make it. That's how good their weapon systems are, and we want to go up against them and act like we're going to start a nuclear war with them because somebody wants to make more money. That's how our country is going. That's what's happening. And it's not going to lead to anything good. And nobody complains about it. Nobody's even aware of it. If you tell people this, they will look at you like you're crazy. It won't even compute because it doesn't go in their little friend. Their little friend didn't say that. Their little friend didn't say that. They don't think for themselves. They only let other people think for them, whatever their friends say. So they're like herd animals, sheep, walking off the cliff with the other herd animals. That's what they're doing. If the other guy walked, they see the butt go over and they walk down, fall down there, they're going to go the same way because that's the nature of people. So I did not mean to I did not fill your day with sunshine. Anyway, if anybody got this far, congratulations. It's not good. It's not good because people are sheep. That's just all you can say. I'm not one of them. I think for myself. I try to get other people to think for themselves. Sometimes I am a sheep. Sometimes I get off the deep end. Sometimes I'm very irrational and do stupid stuff. But I realize it, what I did. After I do it, I realize it. I don't go back and make excuses and blame somebody else. I see that I did something stupid. So that's some level. There are people are trained to see what they're doing irrational before they do it, and they don't even do it because they were trained properly. The rest of us, we're not. We're like herd animals. They know how to do this. They know how to train people. They go in their little secret societies and they initiate these people and make people for their brains to work better and for them to be happier. And they know how to do this. And they're only doing it for a few people. So the rest of us are just self-trained or whatever. So enjoy because what goes up must come down. So I pity the young. Out!